Happy Sunday, everybody. Hello, friends, family, entrepreneurs, investors, creators, humans. It's 10:10 a.m. in Sunday morning. And just wanted to share a message to my LinkedIn fellas about a little bit more details on Wings and what we're working on. But I want to step back a little bit and talk about why this is a very long-term project and how it is going to affect a lot of the things that we think about in terms of the services as a whole picture. So we want to point out that one of the biggest fundamental research and development that we're doing in our labs and really with our minds and everything else is where we see society not in a couple of years, but in 10, 50, 100 years. How do you create a sustainable environment that still using high-end technology that participate neutrally in our daily lives? This is where I think humanity is going to go from labor mindset to a creative and innovative mindset. You just need the canvases, the tools to make that happen. So as much as SpaceX, for example, is working on multi-planetary humanity, it's one thing to get us to other planets or even between planets amongst the stars, traveling in between them. How are we living during that time? How does humanity in a biosphere, if you think about it, will survive? Similarly, this is being thought through during travel, when you land somewhere, and what about here? So we are starting here, but with the mindset of that whatever we're creating, we have to consider sustainability in a whole different level. Resources, in terms of energy use, in terms of material science, even robotics, something that we had to reinvent, not because we wanted to invent new kind of robotics, but we needed to create technology that really understands who we are. And they are alongside us, that we are the decision makers at the end of the day. We are the entrepreneurs, the creators. Everyone is actually a creator. So how do we get from this state to that state? And that is a whole long process. And you guys know I'm a fan of Star Trek and things like that, but I see society as humanity as amongst the stars. How do we get there? It's one thing to create a ship, to create with power to get us from here to there. How are you existing during that process if it takes 50 years traveling? But we want to start here. We want to start here. Everything that we're building has to check off the boxes also here. We have to be excellent. We have to be intelligent about sustainability. So Earth is a place that we're beginning, and we don't want this to be our last home either. And what we learn here, what we build here is towards that mission. So as much as we think about restaurants, for example, you think there's going to be a stove oven right there in the middle of a spacecraft, in the middle of a space? No. So when we start thinking about the food services alone, it's the first one. This is sustenance. This is humanity to survive, regardless of the condition. Whether we have COVID, whether we have a disastrous weather, how do we sustain ourselves as a humanity? How do we apply these technologies in a way that doesn't take away sovereignty? And then how is it also scalable from a very small thing all the way to be applied in a ship or on a plane or in a planet altogether? Otherwise, we will not have the same home. So we have to fundamentally step back and see what that would be. So that's Wings. Wings is about elevating that humanity experience. And let's start with the fundamental things that we depend on: food, water, energy, a place to live. Essentially, all of these things will come to play. At any rate, so we share this with you guys. And we share it with the community also for entrepreneurs and investors to think about that too as well. We see SpaceX really pushing the envelope forward. That may happen years to come, but we don't want to wait for them. Everybody needs to start today, because any value that you bring towards that mission is highly, 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 highly valuable for us today. Blessings. Thank you.